Hello, guys, and welcome to Horrible Co-op Gamers community here. Today we're gonna do a little bit of sitting back and reading. This is the first in the series here. Let me try to get, as you see here, we're reading Star Wars. You know, for all my Star Wars fans out there, this is Star Wars: Dawn of the Jedi. Your guide to the Dawn of the Jedi era of Star Wars. Alright. Blah, blah, blah. This is, I don't know if I guess I'll read this. Your guide to the Dawn of the Jedi era of Star Wars. It is an era of legend, an era before the discovery of hyperspace travel, before the foundation of the Old Republic, and before the philosophies of the Jedi and the Sith were codified. Alright. Never heard that word before. This is a tale of a great and mythic society established and nurtured by powers unthinkably ancient and mysterious, on a collision course with an empire founded on darkness and death. These are the true roots of both the Jedi and the Sith orders, the Dawn of the Jedi. Anywho, there's a picture of the right there, the Thoyor. Alright. Please excuse my mispronunciations if I do mispronounce anything. Over 36,000 years before the Battle of Yavin and the destruction of the first Death Star, 8 ancient pyramidal ships called the Thoyor traveled throughout the galaxy, gathering those who were strong in the Force. Warriors, scientists, philosophers, priests, and artisans from many worlds were brought to the planet Titan in the deep core. Once on Titan, the ships orbited a ninth larger Thoyor and after a time dispersed to various regions of the planet. The Force-sensitive sentients from many different species who settled on Titan became known collectively as Titans. Alright. The deep core. In the center of the galaxy, in a region 7,000 light years across, the galaxy's oldest stars orbit a massive black hole. The gravitational pull of the black hole on the stars and their close proximity to one another warps space-time within the core, which causes hyperspace lanes to collapse, making hyperspace travel difficult and dangerous. Titan. In this era, Titan is a wild and primordial world rich with the Force, breathtakingly beautiful. It can also be harsh and dangerous. Naturally occurring force storms tear at the skies, and fantastic creatures roam the forest jungles. Significant places on Titan. The Rift. A massive, jagged tear in the ground, many kilometers wide and deep. This enormous canyon is racked with volcanic and seismic activity, marked with jagged spires and dangerous quicksand pits. It's a wild place far from the cities, difficult to reach and challenging to navigate. Once there, the Rift is a place where many Jedi go to hone their survival skills. Within the Rift is the Abyss of Ruh, a mysterious region where pit spawn beasts are found that are unique to this area. This is where the Jedi and the creatures on which the scientists of Anil Kish experiment. The Old City. The Old City was already abandoned when the Titans first showed up. Legend says that there is a working hypergate there, but it has never been found. The Silent Desert. All sound dies here because of some undiscovered element of the sand on the surface. Rocky strata under the sand insulates the caverns below from the effect. There's a drawing of the Old City by Jedi Master Jake Finn. Okay. The Jedi, I don't know how to pronounce that, Titans who lived on the planet Titan itself and are actively engaged in studying and understanding the Force belong to the Jedi Order. All Jedi are Titans, but not all descendants of Titans are Jedi. The word Jedi is an amalgam of two ancient Daibendu words, Je meaning mystic and Dai meaning center, signifying that the Jedi concentrate their study on balance within the mystical energy they call the Force. There are 5 levels of attainment for the Jedi: Padawan, Journeyer, Ranger, Master, and Temple Master. Jedi Code. As with the later Jedi and Sith, the Jedi developed their own code. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no fear, there is power. I am the heart of the Force. I am the revealing fire of light. I am the mystery of darkness, in balance with chaos and harmony, immortal in the Force. Hawk Rio's Hunter class fighter right there. You see there? We've got a Jedi Ranger here. Jedi Ranger Rory Fenn. Then went up one page. Apologize for that. And Jedi Ranger Hawk Rio. As you see there, this is fighter. Jedi temples. Around every Thoyor, a temple was founded, each one specializing in some aspect of the study of the Force, while the Jedi might begin their training in one temple as Jedi journeyers. They were expected to travel to and study the discipline of every other temple. There's a Korra Rio, Temple Master of Kalith. I assume that's what that is. Kalith, the Temple of Knowledge. Perched over a Force nexus, Kalith is where the Jedi gather as a whole when important matters arise. It is here that decisions are made and judgments rendered on behalf of the entire Jedi Order. Bodhi, the Temple of the Arts. Located on verdant plains near Pleasant Forest, Bodhi is where students and masters study the Force as manifested through the arts: writing, calligraphy, dancing, drawing, sculpture, cooking, music, and theater. The Temple Master of Bodhi is Jake Fenn. Does that sound familiar? Anil Kesh, the Temple of Science. Here, Jedi scientists delve into science and alchemy. The emphasis is on the theoretical, but the results are often practical and sometimes unpredictable. Anil Kesh straddles the chasm, a gorge so deep that no one has ever found the bottom. Something within the chasm interferes with Jedi senses. The stronger the Force you are, and the deeper you go, the worse the interference becomes. Some Jedi have gone mad trying to learn the chasm's secrets. To the Jedi scientists of Anil Kesh, the chasm represents the Force at its most mysterious. Then they will never cease to try to plumb its depths through science and the Force. Maharakesh, the Temple of Healing. Maharakesh is located in the deep ocean, and portions of it extend underwater. Here, the focus is on the healing arts, both with and without the Force. Laser cannons were added to the temple during the Despot War. A mated Selkath couple, Naro and Kela, are the temple masters. There's Quan Jang, Temple Master of Anil Kesh. Alright, here's some interesting pictures there. Yeah. We got some right here. Alright. Oh, let's go back. Vertepe, the Forge. This temple lies directly over an active volcano. An interior dome built over the lava sea utilizes the heat of the magma to power the temple. The emphasis of study in Vertepe is on the practical and how the Force can be made to manifest physically. The saying here is, whatever Anil Kesh can imagine, Vertepe can make real. Alright. Here's a little Red Tails thing, you know. Anywho, here we go. We got another right here, Star Wars, Agent of the Empire. So you see some ads. Alright, here we go. Qui-Gon Kesh, The Temple of Force Skills. Located within the silent desert, the relative silence here aids the Jedi in honing their abilities and mental and sensory uses of the Force. Mirata Sek, a pure-blood member of the Sith species, is the temple master of Qigong Kesh, a healer trained at Maharakesh. She is the stern, wise matriarch of the Sek clan. Seknos Wrath is her grandson, and she has taught him all she knows of healing in the Force. Mirada's ancestors came to Tython aboard a Thoyor millennia before the Sith homeworld of Korriban was conquered by the Dark Lords, who would eventually take the Sith name for their religion. Tem Madog is the temple master of Vertepe. The Cathar Jedi is a master weapons maker. His skill in forging blades is unchallenged among the Jedi. It has been claimed that nothing can break Madog's steel. Thok-Rath is a Jedi master and Seknos's grandfather in his youth. Thok was a warrior who's powerful in the Force. Now, in his elder years, he has a skill that only the wisdom of age can bring. He is a Jedi who has had the kinds of adventures which Seknos believes he can only dream. Alright, we've got a lot of pictures here that, give me one moment. Alright, and we're back. Okay. So, not really sure how to read this properly. But let's try to get... Alright. We'll start here. Stavkesh, the Temple of Martial Arts. Here the Jedi study and hone their abilities in the martial arts and physical force skills such as the vigorous form called Al-Chaka, which some of the Jedi jokingly claim was invented just to keep warm at Stavkesh. Weapons training is also taught here, as Stavkesh works in harmony with Vertepe by testing new weaponry. Adai Bendu Lami is the temple master at Stavkesh, assisted by Master Tav Agnorgi. Did not mean to do that. Padawan Kesh. The Jedi Academy. At this temple, very young initiates who are strong in the Force are housed and taught until they are ready to be taken as Padawans by Jedi Masters. The Wookiee Roar is the temple master of Padawan Kesh. Akar Kesh, the Temple of Balance. Above this towering pinnacle floats the largest of the pyramid ships, the original Thoyor on Tython. The open-air temple that sits atop the pinnacle is valued as a place for introspective contemplation. Here, the balancing of the light and the dark sides of the Force is taught. The Temple Master Ketu, considered one of the most accomplished of all Jedi Masters. I'm not sure what to make of that. Ashla and Bogan. Bright Ashla and Dark Bogan are Tython's two moons. It was from observing these two celestial bodies that the concept of balance first came to the ancients. To the Jedi, balance within the Force is the most important tenet of the Order. If a Jedi strays too far from the light or the dark, they are deemed to be out of balance. Those who veer too much to the light are sent to Ashla to contemplate Bogan. Those who walk too far into the dark are sent to Bogan, where they can meditate on Ashla until they find their way back to balance, if they ever do. Interesting here, you see here. Here we go. Dagan Lok is known to some Jedi as the prisoner of Bogan. Lok was one of those Jedi who could not escape his fascination with what lies in the depths of the chasm. It is unknown whether Lok, who was physically scarred from his experiences, will ever be allowed to depart from Bogan. Mass Effect teaser here. Dark matter. Jedi technology. Cloud Crasher, one of the many lighter-than-air ships used on Titan and the settled worlds. Terran Glider, short-range atmospheric fighters used on Titan. Oh, look at this thing. What the heck? Jedi Peacemaker class cruiser. Well then. Used for Jedi travel, including diplomatic missions or interventions, the Peacemaker is capable of fast but slower than light speed travel between the planets of the Titan system. The cruisers are armed with laser cannons for defense or for when aggressive diplomacy is necessary. Jedi Ranger Hunter class fighter. Designed for interplanetary flight, the Hunter class is heavily armed, the fastest and the most maneuverable ships in the system. Jedi often customize these ships. Kratos CRSF-27 Space Freighter. Manufactured on Nox by Kratos shipyards, these sturdy, reliable ships are used on many settled worlds as anything from freighters to warships. They are capable of interplanetary travel as well as being tested atmospheric vessel. Deathstalker class fighter. These heavily armed, fast and maneuverable craft originated within the armies of the despot Queen Hadia. Like the Hunter, a Deathstalker can fly in both open space and in atmospheric conditions. The outcome of a fight between a Deathstalker and a Hunter will depend on the skill of the pilots. The descendants of Jedi who were not force sensitive could not withstand the unsettled nature of the planet Titan, so they migrate outwards from Titan into the solar system. The planets of Titan system, from the nearest to the star Tythos to the furthest. Sunspot and Maltera are two small worlds that rotate in opposite directions around Tythos. Scientists speculate that Maltera is a world that originated within the Tython system, that Sunspot is a rogue planetoid and was captured when it entered the gravitational pull of Tythos. When two planets pass one another in their near orbits, both worlds experience violent storms. Both are extremely hot, but environment suits make mining operations possible. Nox is a manufacturing world so polluted that its cities must be sheltered under domes supplied with filtered air. Products whose manufacture is hazardous to environment are made here. Grevcore is a world pockmarked with inactive volcanoes. The atmosphere is so hot and the surface is so dry that no unprotected life can survive. But underground is an enormous network of caverns and lakes. Rain falls within the caverns, and strange alien plants thrive in underworld jungles. So as we see here, we've got Sunspot, Maltera, Nox, Krevkur, Tython, Calamar, Shikakwa, Skagora, Obri, Mar, and Fearskate. And apparently these are blue crystals growing on the surface of Krevkur, which is right there. I do apologize for a lot of these mispronunciations. Tython is a temperate, strong world, ever-changing and beautiful. Calamar is a cosmopolitan world with very integrated population. Tall spires grace beautiful cities of white metal. The first world colonized after Titan, and one of the most densely populated of the colonized planets. It is the business and religious hub for the solar system as well. Shikakwa is a world ruled by feudal gangster clans. The 9 houses as they are known are headed by the aristocracy who rule the lands and interests of Shikakwa. Until the Despot War, these barons, dukes, and earls answered to an overlord called a Krawl. Do apologize for that there. Real Fortress of Shikakwa. Skagora is a temperate, verdant world with huge regions of forests, swamps, and wetlands. Virtually all of the planet's population live in city ships that float above Skagora. In order to maintain the planet as a wilderness, some Wookiees have illegally colonized the forests of this world. No one has challenged their claim. Obri and Mar are known as the Giants. These two gaseous giant worlds have several moons each. Obri has 3 moons, Mar has 7. There are colonies on these moons, as well as gas mining facilities within the atmospheres of the planets. Fury's Gate is the outermost world of the Titan system. A single base and scientific outpost is the only sentient presence on this mostly barren world. With an observatory that looks outward at the rest of the deep core, it is from here that the great sleeper ships were launched. With the intention of returning the rest of the galaxy, there have been several ships over the millennia, but no world has ever returned about their success or failure, and in fact, there has been no new influx of sentients on the Titan system since the pyramids came. And here we have a Baron Volnus Ox Rio. The middle sibling of 3 brothers, Volnus never thought he would inherit the title of Baron. Wealthy and from a titled family, he spent his young life in study and travel, going by the nickname Ox. On the settled worlds, he became a champion for the Rio Syndicate. When his younger brother Hawk introduced him to a fellow Jedi, Korra, the two fell in love, married, and had a child, Tasha. But both Volnus' father and his older brother were killed in a desperate war, leaving Volnus to take on responsibilities he felt ill-prepared to handle. The Desperate War. 12 years before our story starts, the desperate Queen Hadia began the process of unifying Chicaquois and subjugating the aristocracy to her laws with the goal of taking over other planets in the Titan system. At this point, the Jedi intervened, siding with the Chicaquois aristocracy, most of whom opposed Hidia's reign, either overtly or secretly. The Desperate War was a bloody conflict, killing nobles and soldiers as well as many Jedi warriors. Following Hidia's death, a wheat kraal or overlord was elected, one whom the nobles could dominate. Chicaquois is very political these days, with alliances and treaties made and broken between the various houses as each seeks to defend its own territory and interests. The strongest treaties are those involving marriage between the ruling families. There's a Chicaquois worship. The Rakata, a species of amphibian-like bipeds whose infinite empire dominated the galaxy for millennia. Using slaves from many worlds, they built such marvels as the Star Forge, where they would meld technology with the Force to create their war machines. The Rakata also developed a hyperdrive by bending the Force to their will to the dark side. Thousands of years later, civilizations would take the principles of that technology and find other sources of power to create the hyperdrive that would open the galaxy to travel and trade, and result in the formation of the Galactic Republic. The Rakata also created Force Sabers, powerful weapons that channel the dark side of the Force through ebon laboratory-grown crystals into glowing energy blades. The basic principles of this technology would later evolve into lightsabers used by the Jedi. Star Forge Force Saber. Rakatan ship, the Infinite Empire. The Rakatan Infinite Empire is the zenith 5,000 years before the formation of the Galactic Republic. The Rakata were attracted to and enslaved worlds that were strong in the Force. They found these worlds using force sensitives known as force hounds. Skalnas is a predator, or a Rakaton overlord. Skilled at combat and treachery, he began low and fought his way to the title of Predator. Skalnas is considered ruthless, even for a Rakaton. Predator Tokor, master of the Force Hound, known as Zesh. Trill of Force Hound. Okay. Got a little picture there. Yep. Tasha Rio. A Jedi journeyer, Tasha rarely uses physical weapons, preferring empty hand techniques that use the Force itself for both offense and defense. Steady, calm, and empathetic, she uses her ability to sense the pain of others and help them when she can. She is mindful to weigh her options before she acts and tries to understand the possible repercussions of what she does. Tasha is a child of Jedi Master Cora Rio and Chickapaw crime baron Volnus Rio. While committed to the Jedi Order and its principles, she is torn between her two parents wanting to please both. Seknus Wrath, a Jedi journeyer and a pure-blooded Sith. Seknus can be rowdy and bold. He loves weaponry and has forged 3 blades in his quest for the perfect weapon. At the forge in Vertepe, he can often be found dogging Master Madog's heels. Raised by his maternal grandmother, Marita Sek, and his paternal grandfather, Thok Wrath, Seknus longs to achieve greatness, holding in his mind the tales of famous Jedi of the past and present. He wants to be in their company. Here's a colored picture of him. Shay Koda, young, brave, restless, and a bit reckless. Shay lives up to her Jedi journeyer status. Apologize for that. Orphaned when her parents were killed during the Battle of Kaleth during the Desolate War 12 years ago. Shay has distanced herself from the pain of their deaths by remembering them as heroic figures frozen in time. Shay has an incandescent curiosity. She does not accept anything on blind faith and is not afraid to ask questions. Even about that which is considered accepted, she does not question her own powers or abilities. Because she can feel that they are real, she knows what she can do. Many times she pushes her powers in order to find their limits. Interesting. Here's a cool looking picture. Oh, Zesh. Zesh is a Force Hound under the command of Predator Tokar. When this Rakaton slave sets foot on Titan, he will become a catalyst of events no one could anticipate. Ancient writings. Ooh, my. Oh, okay. Ooh, look at this. Oh, my. Oh, look at that. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Kill them and take their stuff. A green Jedi scan. That. Like it, buy it. And that was the first book of Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi. Be sure to check in later for Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi Force Storm book number 2 or 1. It starts off as 00. This is book 01. So the story begins, I believe. That was a lot of background. I do apologize for a lot of the mispronunciations and a lot of point where I stopped and whatnot, but I do hope to make this better. This was Keanu from Horrible Co-op Gamers Community. Oh, apologize for the community. Horrible Co-op Gamers, signing off.